Since the information the main character has about the future from his past life, he tells the Melody some details. But he states it's from a spy, but he sadly also cannot explain to everybody else where he got this information because they're going to be kind of distrusting and worry about this information because it sounds all too good from the information he's providing to the Melody. So he wants the Melody to find a way they can pass the information to his people for them to believe it. And the Melody does devise a plan. He pretends that he can see the stars, he can read the stars. And he passes the information he got to the stars to the main character's men. And they all eat it up. They're like basically devouring it, cheering him on. They're like, oh, we got the strategist who can read the stars. We're praised. We're adored. The heavens are looking upon us. And I'm like, oh, they don't realize they're being tricked by him. They're being tricked by the main character, Melody, especially the ex-general who basically looks at the main lead like he's holding up the stars. So they send the general one direction and send the ex-general the other direction. And before he heads out, the Melody had gifted the ex-general 3 pieces of paper and told him when he gets to certain spots to open these pieces of paper and read them because these pieces of paper will help him down the line with his fate. The stars had progressed these for him. So he reads the first one, he gets to a spot and it says, hey, this is a trap. And yes, he starts at first listening to the piece of advice that he's gifted, but sooner or later he has no choice but not listen to the pieces of paper because again, him and his man are being repeatedly plummeted with arrows. So he decides to basically go against this advice and then he ends up entrapping him and his men in an unsafe location surrounded by the first king's men. And then he opens the second piece of paper that states to him, hey, I knew you were not going to listen to the first pieces of paper, so turn around and get out of there. Escape. Turn the other direction. Okay? And he's like, he knew what I was going to do. Wait, he knew what I was going to do. Obviously, the Melody did not tell the main character about the 2 slips of paper, so when the main character found out his man disobeyed orders, he has to go head out to save his man because he's informed his man is in danger, so he heads out to go save them. And obviously, when he meets up with the ex-general, he tells the ex-general, hey, you're going to be punished once we get this dealt with. But he has to turn around and run back to camp because he's informed by a messenger that the camp is under attack. So he heads out while the ex-general continues on his path. The main character and the left and right guardian and the rest of the troop is trying their best to protect the base. The main character arrives, but he's a little too late because the Melody gets kind of basically shot by an arrow. It kind of just wounds him. It's not severe or anything, but let's just say the main character is going through PTSD. He's just remembering all the things they went through their last moments of life. He is not doing well. Like, the Melody is trying to keep him calm, but he's also horribly injured, so he rushes the Melody to the medical doctor, and the medical doctor says exactly what they already knew, and the Melody wants the very fancy dancy sliv, the fancy dancy medicine, but this causes increased pain. So obviously the main character doesn't want to give this to him, so he gives him the lower ranking medicine that would take longer to heal the Melody's wounds but won't cause such intense pain. Obviously, this becomes an issue later when they can't leave camp because, again, leaving camp will just cause the wound to repeatedly open because every time the Melody tries doing something, the wound just opens up. And they need to set up camp, break it down and go to where the general and ex-general are to help them, especially bring them food resources and the stuff they need. But the main character keeps just refusing because he's worried about the Melody's injury, and the Melody has enough of it. He puts his man in his place, and finally the main character has to agree to give him the medicine that works 100% sure to clear up the wound and heal it, but it's going to cause a lot of pain. so they can move bases. So the Revenger, she was brought with them, and she's disguised herself as the Melite's handmaiden, and she's helping taking care of him while keeping eye out until it's time for her to set out to become one of the First King's lovers. And she gets to this certain point, and the Melite does try convincing her to do something else, but she has her plans fully set. But he tells her, hey, wait for us. Don't do anything crazy. Don't put yourself in danger. Just wait for us. We'll come for you and we'll come to help you. Just wait. And she agrees to wait, and she heads out to where the Second King is, because the Second King is planning to collect lovers for the First King and send those lovers to him. And that's where she's heading out so she can sneak into the First King's territory, his home. The Left Guardian and the Right Guardian, they look like the main character Melite from Grandmaster Demonic Convention. I am not kidding. They literally do in their artwork, and they act like them, exactly like them. I was literally shocked. I was like, hey, they kind of remind me of the couple from Grandmaster Demonic Convention. And then when I got to see their artwork, I was like, oh, that's them, right? That is literally them. And the Revenger, she looks like the Doctor from Grandmaster Demonic Convention. You know, the Ghost General's sister. Also, I am not sure who's going to end up with who, because I have vibes that the Right Guardian is either going to end up with a Left Guardian or with her. Because again, he keeps giving her attention. He even says that if he has to learn her family's techniques, he was willing to marry her. He's always up her business, which upsets the Left Guardian. And so I'm not sure which one he's going to end up with, because he's always following the Left Guardian around, or he follows her around. I'm not sure. But I think there's going to be a second couple, and it's going to involve the Right Guardian, either with one of these two. You guys can tell me if I'm wrong. Since the main character had his paws on the Melite before they had set out, the Melite basically punishes him. He goes, well, you said that it'd be a long time since we'll ever do that. That's why you wanted to do it all night long. So you don't really have to do it until we finish this expedition, which obviously makes the main character act like a kicked dog. But sooner or later, he's able to put his paws on the Melite and they roll around for a bit. But after they roll about that time around, the Melite only lets him get a little handsy and kisses him, but most of the time he just like, well, you got far enough, we're done, we're not going to do anymore. And again, the main character acts like a kicked dog. And it's literally hilarious. I do not feel one bit bad for him. I'm like, that's what you get. That's what you get, dude. Learn your place. Your wife is the boss in this relationship. You need to know that. They arrive to the location where the general and the ex-general are waiting for them, and the general is given the title of general, and the ex-general is stripped of his position as general because of their actions during this expedition. The First King keeps trying to send assassins to kill the main character, but each assassination attempt fails. But sadly, they can't really prove it because they don't have any evidence. And again, even though these are his men they're fighting against, it is still not known that he's involved in this. Like, he is secretly helping the Second King during this fight, but it's not actually known that he's involved in the fight yet. So they need to find concrete evidence to prove that he's been helping the Second King this entire time. But if they fully try going to the Emperor with what they have now, it just really push him to help the Second King fully and be seen and do more than he already does, which will backfire on them. The main character realized just because he's a reincarnator doesn't mean everything's going to go the way it did before. He's seeing this with his own eyes. I mean, this expedition has happened 3 years prior, meaning these men are not going to make the same actions and decisions they did before. So he's going to have to work through things like it's the first time around. Yes, he has some information that might help him from his prior life, but he also knows this might backfire on him.